Hey, it's Bryce here, and today I'm going to be kicking off my How to Sell on eBay series. I'm going to be showing you guys my top recommended free USPS shipping supplies to get for your eBay store. So to start things off, we have the mailing and shipping prices here. I'm actually going to have a link for everything down in the description in the order that you see it, so you guys will be able to check out all the prices of the stuff that I'm talking about. As well as I will have the catalog to browse all of the free shipping supplies right at the top of the description as well. So to start things off, we have the small flat rate box, and this is pretty good for like heavier small electronics, but it's not something that I typically will end up using. But I do recommend having a few of these around just in case you want them. Depending on how you're going to go about it, sometimes it could be cheaper possibly to have first class with insurance, but that little box does include a good amount of insurance, so it might be worth considering. I highly recommend these padded flat rate envelopes. This is probably one of my favorites when I actually can get something to fit in it. I've shipped tons of things like heavy air ratchets and things like that. You can stretch these ones out quite a bit and fit things like maybe a pair of jeans or a light sweatshirt, things like that in here. I've actually shipped these for about $7.33 anywhere in the US with my eBay discounts. So I highly recommend that you get some of these. I definitely didn't use these for a long time as I was starting to get the hang of eBay. So this would definitely give you a leg up if you're just now getting started. The next one I'm going to recommend is this padded, or not the padded, the cardboard flat rate envelope. So with these, I've actually fit about 5 comics with 2 pieces of cardboard in them, and I've sent them for about $6.50 with my eBay discounts. I highly recommend having a few of these around just in case you end up wanting to use them. They're pretty easy to store and they don't take up a lot of space. Although maybe, unless you're not shipping those types of items, you might not end up using it. But you could still stuff a pretty good amount of stuff in there if you do end up having something that would be good for these. The next thing I'm going to recommend is the medium flat rate box, which you guys will be able to see here on the screen as well. I use these all the time. I probably send out a few of these a week at the moment. This is probably one of the most common boxes that I actually use for eBay, and it runs about $13 to send one of these anywhere in the United States. You can actually put up to 70 pounds in one of these, so I highly recommend that you have quite a few of these in stock. Maybe if you're just getting started, start off with a few, but I definitely recommend you keep some of those around. The next one I'm going to recommend is the larger, or longer I should say, version of that medium flat rate box. I fit things like a Nintendo 64 with all of the cords and 2 controllers in these, which is quite a bit. That takes up quite a bit of space, so this can hold quite a bit. I do have to note that you can't really modify these very much or anything like that. So trying to add like a third controller, for example, I would not be able to send it in that box. But in the case that I did underestimate the size of my item, I like to have these large flat rate boxes around. Not something I typically end up shipping in, but it's great when you've already guaranteed a customer that you were going to send it priority mail, and you end up underestimating the size of the item. This is going to save you a ton of money if you make one of these mistakes, which you probably will if you are a starter on eBay. There's also a game board version of this as well, which is awesome. It saved me when I've shipped laptops that ended up costing too much. So definitely recommend having a few of these around. I don't really recommend them actually for game boards because game boards are pretty light. But in the case of my laptop, the priority shipping in a normal box would have actually cost as much as I sold the laptop for. So when I was able to use this, it ended up saving me quite a bit of money, and I was still able to make the item profitable. The next ones I'm going to talk about are the regional rate boxes. So I actually just started using these myself, so if you're a newbie getting into this, this is going to help you save quite a bit of money as well. So the closer the person is, the cheaper these are actually going to be for you to use. I actually have a guide from flippertools.com that's going to show you a good way to use these boxes and when they'll actually be useful for you. But definitely it's good to start learning with these and have these laying around, as these are going to save you quite a bit of money This is a bit smaller than a medium flat rate box though, so not all the time are you going to find something that's going to fit perfectly in here. But depending on what kind of store you have, this could save you a ton of money every year if you're using items that fit in these instead of using that medium flat rate box. There's also the regional rate B box, and there is a version of it that's kind of similar to this medium flat rate box in terms of styling. I recommend you go through the free priority mail stuff and take a look. But I have this kind of styled box, which is a little bit bigger than that medium flat rate box I had showed you previously. Definitely worth having a few of these around and getting used to using them. They are a little bit different, so of course it's not going to be able to carry the 70 pounds in it, so anything, over 20 pounds they're not going to allow it, but it seems about 6 to 20 pounds it could be cheaper for you to actually use it. So definitely worth keeping around and seeing and getting the hang of using those types of free material. The next ones I'm going to talk about are not flat rate at all. So a lot of the time with a box like this, if it's under like 3 pounds, then you could probably end up using it and save money. But it really depends on how close the person is. The cool thing with these is like I could cut this box in half, for example, or resize it and still use it. Whereas with a flat rate box, you can't do that. Or I could combine two of these boxes in the case that I have an item that I can't fit in any of my boxes. That's a good way to use those, and plus the fact that they're free makes it really nice. There's a few versions of boxes just like this. It's the same type of deal. You could combine two of these maybe if you had a sign, or if it bulges out a bit, it's not going to get you any complaints or any overcharges for shipping. Nice to have around, but definitely not something you're going to use all the time. Those medium flat rate boxes are probably going to be your go-to. I don't have one of these on hand, but there is the Priority Shoebox. The shoebox is definitely pretty useful if you're a shoe seller. As long as the shoes aren't really heavy, that's probably going to be one of your best bets. I'm going to stock a few of these in myself, even though I don't really sell shoes. So anyway, if you guys found this information useful, be sure to subscribe and hit that like button. As well as if you have any comments on shipping or how to ship, make sure to leave them in the comments below. I plan to have a lot more tutorials on getting started with eBay. I'm going to teach you guys how to do shipping with FedEx and all sorts of other ways to save yourself money for shipping on eBay. So be sure to stick around. Thank you and have a good day.